The Arizona Cardinals organization have accomplished 3 things since the end of the 2023 season, and they're all massive. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter, Clancy's Corner _. Follow the podcast at Locked On AZ Cards. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen, free wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Been in sports radio since 2011 here. Been hosting this podcast since 2017. Thank you for being a part of the journey with me now. Everydayers, if you've been here since day one, thank you, Ed Romero. You get your quarterly shout out. If this is your first listen to Locked On Cardinals, thank you. It's only going to get better from here, baby. So I do want to address one thing. I'm seeing in the comments recently on YouTube, and everybody, I want to hear everything you have to say. Always, always. Good, bad, and different. I've got people who I have to work for to get positivity out of, and I've got people who are positive about everything, which is great, and everything in between, and I love it. I want all of the conversation, because that's what this is all about, man. This is what sports are about. This is why I've loved doing this for almost 15 years at this point. Is connecting with people, having conversations like we're sitting around a bar, having or whatever, coffee shop, and having a conversation about your favorite team, about the team that I've covered or worked in the media market for so long. I've been when things weren't going well for a long time, you heard it. I'm not gonna treat you like a child and say, "Oh, everything's gonna be fine. Rainbows and butterflies. Ice cream cones," when things were obviously broken. And now, when things are actually moving in the right direction, while takes, quote unquote, I don't have takes, I have things that I say. When things are going and moving in the right direction, it's looked at as weak when you just acknowledge it and don't automatically go opposite it. And you know what? I've been looked at as a contrarian when all I really do is I want to make you think, and not just say, "Oh, this is exactly how it is," because none of us know what the future is going to be like. So we may as well look at all angles, just in case. Just in case. And this has been a roller coaster over the last handful of years. And then now, when things are really starting to settle in and be functional, embrace this. We don't know what's going to happen in 2024. We know what it's trending towards. Embrace functionality and not the crap show that we experienced over the last handful of years. That's my thought process on it. So the Cardinals have done 3 things this offseason that they've really just solidified. And with all of the question marks going into last season and all of the question marks going into when is Kyler Murray coming back? What is he going to look like? Is Drew Petzing's offense going to work? Is Jonathan Gannon a head coach? Are these draft picks? Is Monti Ossenfort the real deal? All of those questions. And it wasn't questions with a negative, aura around them, like they had been forever. I wonder what Steve Keim's going to do. That's a big question mark. There was a negative connotation towards that. Not now. These are opportunities. These are what ifs. These are, we truly don't know what's going to happen with this team. So now when you pivot it out, they beat Philly. They should have beat Seattle. They didn't, got Marvin Harrison Jr., free agency, Monti Ossenfort, draft, Kyler Murray, all this stuff. Things are solidifying. The foundation is solidifying. And the 3 main things that we've seen, the last one that I'll discuss in the final segment is Monti Ossenfort's prowess. And again, this is a so far so good scenario, okay? Kyler Murray's progress, so far so good since he's been released from, the Cliff Kingsbury world, and he can actually grow and mature as a human being and as a football player. But first, and this is magnanimous, this is big. Everybody's buy-in going into last season, where it's like, well, it can't be worse than that, talking about the last regime, is now shifting into there's something special here. And that's something Jonathan Gannon did like that. And while a lot of hard work, a lot of talks, a lot of trust building exercises, a lot of proverbial trust fall exercises were happening within the confines of the workout facility in Chandler and State Farm Stadium on game day, it's evolving into something special. And special could mean things for different things for different teams. Special in Philly means, you got all the good players that everybody else wanted. You overspent for all the players, and now go win a Super Bowl. And if you don't, well, the world's burning down. This is a much more slow and steady, prove that you're worth the conversation, to be in the conversation of relevancy. This is step 2. This is phase 2 of probably 5 phases of getting to a Super Bowl. This is everybody who's an Arizona Cardinal employee who happens to be a player is bought in. This is special. This is different. And this isn't different just directly correlated to what we experienced watching the Cardinals be with the last regime. In a vacuum, this is different. In a vacuum, this is special. This is cultural functionality and cohesion. So doing that, that's the biggest accomplishment that the Cardinals, but namely Monti, Ossenfort, and Jonathan Gannon have made, is this is a safe place. They're going to grow together. They trust each other. They're going to work hard. And the product that was put on the field last year, if it's replicated with the roster that the Cardinals have now, regardless of who they play in 2024, there are going to be some special things from this team. Not saying they're making the playoffs. I know people are already, if you want positive news, regardless of what's actually happening in the world, there's plenty of outlets for that in Phoenix. There's plenty, which is great. And people just want to hear good stuff. That's awesome. We don't know if the playoffs are going to be a situation in 2024. There's a lot that still needs to be decided on this roster, on who's going to be relied upon, or who's going to get the targets in the wide receiver room, how much they're going to run the ball, if it's going to be 65-35 and Kyler Murray is going to be an elevated game manager. We don't know. We don't know. What we do know up until this point is, from when Jonathan Gannon and Monti Ossenfort took over at the end of the 2022 season, the start of the 2023 calendar year, to now, the buy-in is stronger than it's ever been for the organization. This version of this organization breeds hope for all of the old school fans. Kevin, you'll get your shout out. Kevin McKenna, another one of my rivals, I say sugar-coatedly, who's been a fan for 40 years, who always thinks things are going to go wrong because all they've done is gone wrong. Sure, you have the Super Bowl appearance and things like that. It's NFC Championship game. By and large, things have not gone well. This version of the Cardinals should instill hope that good things are still possible. And not just in a trade for this veteran, trade for this veteran, bring in Bruce Arians, 3 years, awesome. In perpetuity. For a decade. Not for 10 games. For a decade. Not for 2 or 3 years, and you got to blow it up. And that all starts with every single person looking at Jonathan Gannon and saying, you know what? Where's the wall I'm running through? And yes, the Cardinals only won 4 games last year. And yes, they didn't look great in the second halves of last year. And yes, this is Jonathan Gannon's second year. The first year is a throwaway because they didn't have a roster and Kyler Murray was hurt. So he hasn't really had to coach with any sort of pressure on him. All of those things are true. And how you do the small things is how you do the big things. I'll use that cliche on a Friday because why the hell not? The Cardinals are doing everything small in an effort to do the big things right. And so far, so expletive good. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Kyler Murray has wowed people. And I'm sorry it started later than people wanted to, but it's here and it's potent and it's more important now than it's ever been for him to be in the position he's in with the wherewithal and maturity by which he's doing it. Kyler Murray, full segment. Next, Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by eBay Motors, passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, man. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. 3 accomplishments by the Arizona Cardinals since the end of the 2023 season. Number 1, everybody is absolutely, no doubt about it, on the same page, looking at Jonathan Gannon and saying seeing Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon saying, lead us. We're in. 90 guys on the roster, 75 guys, 53 on game day, practice squad. You know how many human beings that is? How many adult human beings that is? To get everybody on the same page and everybody in. This is not, thankfully, this isn't the last regime. This is, thankfully, it's this regime. Regardless of how the Arizona Cardinals organization got here. A lot of this offseason is going to be these bigger picture, kind of theory-based segments. I did it last season with the future pacing. Okay, the future is now. Okay? I'm going to give you a cable guide. The future is now. You're welcome. But this is the beginning. Very rarely does a head coach just get the chance to be like, oh, doesn't matter how many games you win this year because the team's so bad. And very rarely, a coach who is in that situation can thrive, not necessarily the dictionary definition, but bring an organization out of the mud and the muck into Cardinals could be good. It could have been, it could have been the 7 depths of hell last year watching the Cardinals. He still would have gotten a pass. But it would have been did Michael Bidwell make a mistake again? Same old Cardinals. It wasn't that. And now they're just expounding upon that. The Cardinals probably, say just for, for visual learners, say they just needed to go from 0 to 1, that 0 to 1 jump out of 10. Be like, okay, just get out of whatever that crap hole there was. Hold on for dear life until Kyler Murray comes back and then just hope that Kyler Murray's the quarterback for the future. That's where it started. 10 would have been they made the playoffs, okay? 0 to 1 is just that. Just hold on. They probably went to 5 last year. Proof of concept, playing hard, playing cohesive. James Conner rushing the ball like reckless abandon towards the second half of the season. Even though they didn't get a sack in the last handful of weeks, it was ugly last year, but there was so much more pretty than we expected. Kyler Murray's progress since tearing his ACL has been everything anybody who believes in Kyler Murray and sees if he can just do this, special things could happen for this organization have wanted to see. And sure, since he came back, he was rusty, okay? We saw some of the oh my God moments every day, the oh my God moments that I've been special players have oh my God moments. If you haven't heard me use this analogy or this whatever, saying special quarterbacks have oh my God moments. Good coaching yields and breeds more of those oh my God moments, puts them in positions to make those moments happen. Cliff Kingsbury didn't do that for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had to do that on his own. And we saw a couple last year, a couple massive runs by Kyler in a somewhat broken down play. There were a couple design runs by Drew Petzing, which I'm fascinated to see how few they're going to use for him this year with the vaunted backfield with James Conner and Trey Benson, if he can just jump in and ball. We saw enough from him last year where it's okay. But then it wasn't always the play on the field. Part of it was, but it wasn't always the play on the field that made people question things. It was, can he lead a team? Does he care about his players? Does he care about being a leader? Does he want to win so badly that he will change how he's played football since he was 6 years old? Because he never had to be a leader. All he had to do was just be better, the best player on the field, which he was. So this growth from Kyler is what everybody's been waiting for since he was a rookie, but just come on. I'm sorry. Like, I'm on Kyler Murray's aisle. I know he's not perfect, and I know that there's a lot that he still needs to work on, but let me tell you what. The majority of what happened with the miscommunication, with the delay of games, with the timeouts, that was Cliff, not him. Why didn't he have any of those last year? With a new offense, coming fresh off the bench, off rehab. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Your OC and your quarterback are going to get on the wrong page, and you're going to have to burn timeouts once in a while. But what Kyler Murray has done is continued the positive momentum forward. He's not getting in his own way one way or another. Okay. And sure, if they lose 3 in a row to start next year, we're going to be having not conversations like abandon ship, just the conversations like, okay, how is he handling this? Is he playing well? Is he getting better every week in this offense? And sure, this is year 6, man. Like, I get it. But year 6 now is like year 11 a decade ago. If you can stay healthy, he played another 10 years. He's 26, 27. Like, come on. What Kyler Murray has done, and the reason for this segment is his progress under Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing, his teammates, Monti Ossenfort, Michael Bidwell, has been absolute night and day from 2021 when they started 7-0 and 10-2. I don't care about the record. I don't care about the games they won. It doesn't matter. The system was broken. It was broken. The rest was just a facade, and we saw it very quickly that it was broken. Kyler Murray's maturity as a leader, as a person, as a man, and as an employee of the Arizona Cardinals should have people juiced up for what's to come in 2024. Monti Ossenfort did it again. So far, so good. What he's shown through 2 seasons is he probably should have been a GM 5 years ago. Let's break it down a little bit more as we roll on here. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Bird Gang Travel Club, baby. I'm so excited to do this live read. I forgot how to talk for a minute. Here's the thing, okay? I'm going to go over everything that they do. Their packages are incredible. The numbers are dwindling for the amount of packages available. And I'm going to lead this live read with this. You've got to sign up by June 23rd, that's Sunday, to receive a signed Paris Johnson Jr. mini helmet for anyone in your package. Anyone. But the deadline's on the 23rd. So if you don't know who the Bird Gang Travel Club is, let me tell you. They provide the best and only fan travel experience for Cardinals road games. We're talking anywhere from 50 to 500 fans on any given trip. So if you haven't been on vacation in a while, you want to take, the wife or the husband and your 2 kids, and you want to go to Buffalo in week 1, you want to go to Green Bay in week 6 or Miami in week 8, Travel Club has got you covered. Packages include top-notch hotel stays for 3 or 4 nights, lower-level game tickets. This is important. Not all purveyors like this. There are few, but not all, maybe none, provide the types of tickets they're offering. There are still row 5 or closer in both Buffalo and Green Bay. You want to see a Lambeau Leap in person? Boom. Row 5 or closer. Buffalo, Orchard Park, down by the Crazies, row 5 or closer. Also, parties every night with open bar and appetizers. Unique fan tours of Lambeau Field and Niagara Falls, souvenir trip patch, State 48, trip shirts, and more. Visit birdgang.com to see all the packages today. And on top of that, they have payment plans available. You don't have to throw all the juice right away. You can break it up into a couple months. And again, the deadline to get the Paris Johnson Jr. mini helmet is Sunday, June 23rd. For anyone in your package, use code LOCKEDON to receive a bonus signed mystery mini helmet or football from a current Cardinals player or alumni while supplies last. Birdgang.com. That's Bird Gang Travel Club. This offseason has been so fun, man. It's been fun. And A lot of blowback with the Cardinals rating by Seth Waldron, from ESPN, giving the Cardinals a C+. Well, but the draft and whatever, that's fine. I know that the Cardinals had a good draft. The thing is, though, how many snaps have those players played? You're not going to grade somebody based on projections. You're going to grade them based on what we've seen. And what we've seen is what the Cardinals have brought in with Jonah Williams and Sean Murphy-Bunting, Bilal Nichols, and Justin Jones specifically, Mac Wilson, is average football play. So you get a C+. If we're grading at the end of the year, the Cardinals could have an A. But you're not going to fold in to a grade draft picks for players who haven't played yet. That's the whole thing with me that I didn't really understand. So overall, when you look at what Monti Ossenfort has done, we don't know what it'll amount to 5 years from now. We don't know if the Cardinals are going to be in Super Bowl contention in the next 5 years. All we know, and all we can grade Monti Ossenfort on so far, is not only just eating it, starting over from the studs, drafting players at positions of need that the Cardinals desperately needed. The majority of them have come from big schools. And he's given the young players the opportunity to learn and grow alongside veterans in the same position that they play. Now, obviously, there's more veterans and rookies. They all play the same position. I get it. We're not looking at, I always use Marco Wilson as an example. I'll use Byron Murphy as an example also. Like, you're not throwing rookies out on an island and saying, good luck. Good luck. You're throwing them out on an island in the cornerback room, like, good luck, toughest position in football. No real veterans here. No real veteran talent to help you. Good luck. Because I can't build a roster, so got to draft for positions of need and then just play them right away before they're ready. It's different. Monti Ossenfort, through the last 2 offseasons and last 2 drafts, has had 2 of the most boring free agencies in the history of the organization. And they've been 2 of the most effective. All of these smart draft people that I've had on, 2 of my favorites, Trevor Sikkema, good friend of mine, and Brad Spielberger, who's now moved on from Pro Football Focus. They both said Monti Ossenfort building through the draft. He's building this team through the draft. And then all he's adding is veteran talent to support the young players who are going to be the stars. Monti Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon's done a good job with the players that have been signed and drafted and who were already on the roster. What Monti Ossenfort has done is completely changed the face of this organization. Not one player. He's changed the makeup, the chemical makeup of this organization. And looking back in history, you're not going to be able to recognize this Arizona Cardinals organization when you look back and compare it to the ineptitude that has infused this organization pretty much since they moved to Phoenix. That's not easy to do, even though he's made it look easy. And I will end with this. Like, you look at Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, both eccentric guys in different ways. Monti Ossenfort looks like a boss in a video game, like the final boss, like with the power suit and the chin up and, but, I guess the nice twin brother, I said that a couple days ago. What they do is they exude confidence. They exude preparation, their preparedness, and their ability to lead and do their job seems effortless. And that's something that you can't teach. You can, obviously prepare. That's something that somebody is partially born with. And also the maturation, process of growing up and everything. The ability to keep a level head, be team first, and do your job at an elite level under the pressures of taking over an organization that's never won anything ever. Through 2 years. So far. So good. Alex Lanty, Locked On Cardinals. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you next week.